uncle who passed away about 3-4 years ago, about 80 years old. So I was trying to explain to him about how email works those days. He listened to me up to the last minute, telephone line, computer, and another line picks it up from that side. Finally, he asked me, okay, now, you have a brother who works in the Middle East, I need to talk to him. But now, I've heard all you've told me. Where do I put my stamp? This is actually a true story. Are we ready? Oh.
Yes, we are ready.
Okay, so just a quick introduction before I invite Jen Ngima, who's from the Network for Non-Formal Education Institutions, and then Esther Wanjau of Esther. Jen will start? Oh, you start? Okay, fine. Jen, come through. So Jen is going to be talking about e-government and infrastructure.
Good afternoon. I will be very brief, but I think all of you have a brochure, and most of the things that I'm going to say are in this brochure, so I'll be very brief. But before I start, I know some of us, there was no ugali, but I know at least maybe I can just play a short animation on infrastructure and the infrastructure that we put in place in e-government. So there's no music, but we call it the government common call network. Okay, there's a bit of just background music. So the Government Information Technology Services under e-government has laid down infrastructure connecting all government buildings through fiber optic cables. And this is so that to reduce redundancy and so that the government can share infrastructure, share applications to all the ministries can share. So as you can see, we have this cable connects all government buildings from Treasury, from you can see Jogo A, Jogo to Jogo B, and it's all over town in the government buildings. Now that is the connection from Treasury to the Times Tower, and then Treasury to Vigilance. Is it called Vigilance or Vigilance? Yeah, so this is what the e-government has put in place as infrastructure to connect all government buildings in a secure environment. That's from Treasury to Harambee House. Then from Harambee House to Sheria, then from Sheria to Commission House, and then to Teleposta. So you can imagine all these cables. So it goes up to Nyayo House. We went to Utali. Now these buildings are the ones in CBD, but now there's another block that is at Community House, NHIF to Athi to Maji, Transcom House. I think Magareza is the law court, Minimani law court. Or prisons. Sorry. And then finally it links to State House. It's the farthest government building. And it's a ring which has a redundant link, so that to avoid cable, anyway the network is down at least. And then before this link, all government buildings have a local area network. So that's the local area network in all the government buildings, which now then it's interlinked through GCCN. And also we have the data center, government data center. So that's our journey to the cloud. And our data center has this equipment. It has servers. Okay, we have data communication equipment in the data center. Then we have the IBM mainframe servers. We have fire suppression system. Because of all this. And then we have mid-range servers, and we have a generator that operates 24 hours. Because in a data center, you can't afford to be out of power anytime. So that's what e-government has put in place, the government data center. In this data center, we have several applications. Okay, then the e-government has put in place community learning information centers equivalent to the PASHA centers. And initially we have 15 community learning centers where we have equipped with computers and network, and the community can go there and get government information. So I hope you're awake now. So now we can move to our presentation. It will be short now that I have covered infrastructure. I was supposed to cover infrastructure in the e-government. So the Directorate of E-Government's mandate, I won't go through it. It's all here in this brochure. And we are mandated to do all this, but you can read for yourselves so that I don't take time. All this is the mandate of e-government. Continue. And what is e-government? E-government means many things to different people. All these are definitions of e-government. The use of information technologies such as wide area networks, the internet, so people are online, the internet, the mobile computing, and by government agencies that have the ability to transform relations with citizens, businesses, and other arms of government. That is one of them. This is where we have government-to-government relationships, where now we have some government applications like the Integrated Payroll and Personnel Database. It's used by ministries. We have the IFMIS. It's used by ministries. But now we have government-to-business, where now we have the company registries that the government gives services to the businesses and the citizens. One of the citizens' relationship of government is exams results online. The citizens can access, or rather the students, citizens can download forms from government use, like the application for passports, IDs, P3 forms, and abstracts. So that is what government is. Okay, then the e-services is the use of this internet to do those operations that I've mentioned. There are methods of offering these services. We have the face-to-face, where citizens can walk into a service center, and there are government officers in those centers from every ministry, every department. So the citizens who are not able to go into the internet or SMS or use the mobile can go into that center and get these government services. We are thinking of partnering with the post office. At least there we have the infrastructure in place, the buildings, and that is something in the future that we are thinking of doing as e-government. We have a web portal. I didn't write the address here, but it's www.kenya.go.ke, where we want this to be a one-stop shop where visitors can get these services at a single point of contact. You don't need to know that you're getting this service from the Ministry of Immigration. The forms are there, you download and fill. And that is what we want for our portal. And you can visit our portal. Then we have the interactive voice response system. Even now, you can access our IVRS, and you can get these same services through your mobile. Then SMS, you can also use SMS to get information, e.g. exams results and status of job applications. That's our portal. It's called hudumakenya.go.ke. It's the same one, kenya.go.ke. Then visit our portal and you'll get all the services there. This is our IVRS, the one I've just mentioned. The people who have this type of phone with this keyboard, if you want to complain to the government, you dial 090000. Theta, you look at where T is, it's at 8. And E is at 3, T8, and A3 again. So, 2. So if you dial that number, you're going to, you can complain to the government. If you want to know what to do, if you've lost maybe your ID, then you can dial 090000 and then lost. Use this keyboard. Where is L? Where is O? Where is S? Where is T? And so on. If you want to get any information from the government, then it's PATA. Then it's PATA. PATA 7. P is at 7. I think this is how we've made it simple so that most people have this. So you can try it now from any network. Safaricom, Orange, Airtel, whatever network, you'll get these services. This where e-government has worked, I had said earlier, the IPPD, it's the payroll system. And now we have the GHRIS, which is web-based, and government officers can go in there and key in the information, their personal information, their education, and all the information, and eventually they can print their payslips. So nowadays, we are not printing pay slips from the salaries. People are printing for themselves from their office. Then there is online recruitment. The Public Service Commission has developed a system where citizens and even government officers can, for government officers, they can be promoted. And for citizens, even new applicants, it's available online. We have the integrated financial management information system used by accountants, and it is in Treasury. PIN registration, all these now are some of the e-government applications that are working now. And we have a few government projects in the Department of Information, that's government, to communicate effectively all over at the headquarters to the counties. So if you go to the DC and you have a complaint and it can only be solved in Nairobi, the DC will be able to call the Nairobi office, and you as a citizen will be able to be assisted. So this is an ongoing project. And to do this, we have equipped, or rather we are planning to equip these offices with desktop computers, laptops, and printers. Then we have the county connectivity project, which we want to connect the counties through last mile connectivity. And this one, we want to use the N-NFEI termination point at the telecom offices. So we are talking with telecom and N-NFEI so that we can integrate these services. And also there will be video conferencing connectivity available. And just a note there, the Constitution of Kenya requires citizens to get services irrespective of their location. Is it bill access, right to access? Then we have the GDC, I've just shown you the animation. In the GDC, we have applications like ministries' websites. Our portal, the one I've said, it's at the GDC. That's the government data center. And we have clients like KRA. KRA, we are using our GDC. So we're about to get money from them. So all of you are, we want people to come and use our data center. Their services will be secure. Then we have human capacity development. We develop capacity of our ICT officers so that they can be able to be productive and improve the quality of service. Some of the capacity building that we conduct, these are for police officers and chiefs, so that at least they can get basic education. Community centers, that's what I had already talked about. And those are some of the community centers that are mission. And this is GCCN, so my presentation is over. Thank you. I hope I've not taken too long.
Time. Thank you, Esther. Wow, who would have thought? So much stuff going on in government. I would dare say some private companies are not even halfway here. So it's good stuff. Now we'll introduce Jane. Jane will talk about our institution, the Network for Non-Formal Education Institutions. Jane, karibu.
Asante sana. Yes, as you've heard, I'm Jane Muriuki from the Network of Non-Formal Educational Institutions. Maybe because of time, I'll do just be able to go through the presentation. So you can present the name and the as an organization, we have a mission of promoting access to basic education, and mainly to children from poor background. And this includes the slums and other marginalized communities. And within that, we thought that one of the ways of doing it is using technology. And this was introduced to us from the concept of video conferencing. And so last year, we established a program where we've been able to put up an infrastructure of video conferencing facility. We have a studio where our teachers teach from. We're able to reach out to some centers within the slums. Right now we have got 2 centers, Korogosho and Kayole slums, and we're trying to look out into enabling more centers to come forward. This particular program of video conferencing had its own challenges in that, the internet, flow of internet and consistency has been a big challenge. And then again, we're doing the program in the night, and this had also presented itself with its own challenges, especially the men not willing to allow the wives to go to class in the night. And since our target group was youth out of school, I'm trying to look at how we enable the many youth who are out of school and had desired to do secondary education and maybe sit for KCSE, be able to access education. And last year we launched the program, and I'm happy that we met the PS. He came and did the launch of our studio and the program, and we've been on since then. Then from there, we learned from the challenges, and we went forth. One of the other challenges was the content, since we realized that there's very little in terms of digitized content in secondary education. We went to KIE, they didn't have much, they just had the CDs, and it was a challenge. But we thank God that this year we're able to do content development from open education resource website, specifically from Commonwealth of Learning, and we've been able to adapt it to fit the Kenyan syllabus. So as we speak, we are finalizing with the development of our content, and I think by the end of the month we should have all the content uploaded in our particular portal that we're going to call Darasani, meaning that it's an environment that will enable children access education wherever they are. That has been our biggest challenge, because night schools were such challenging. So we went forth to look at how else can we be able to enable education. And as we look towards the virtual learning program, we now have the Darasani portal, still under development, but we have content on for Form 1 completed, Form 2 I think by next week to be uploaded. And we have our technical people here with us, and the website I'll be able to give it to you for the portal so that you can access it. Then from there, as we did we moved forward to that. When we started the program, we started with teachers who are graduates from on various subjects, but the biggest challenge was that they were not ICT qualified teachers. So we had to do a bit of training to enable them to be able to provide education on an e-learning platform. So with the support from Commonwealth of Learning, we've been able to train our teachers to be able to provide education on an ICT platform. And then at the same time, we've been able to give them basic skills on content development. And through that, that's what we've been doing for the last 2 months to do content adaptation for the program. As you do that, I was told to do the presentation from a CSO perspective, and being an organization which is non-governmental organization, and an organization that really addresses the problem of the community. N-NFEI as an organization, we are a CSO based on approach, whereby we want to respond to the need of education to slum children. And when you look at the portal, especially when you look at it, we are seeing it to be a very, very important platform, whereby non-formal schools, I don't know how many of you are aware of who are non-formal schools. These are the schools in the slums, whereby one textbook is used by about 5 children, or even the only textbook in that class is the teacher's textbook. So with a portal, the teacher can be able to use one laptop, one projector, project to the class, and they have got content which is visible to the whole class. I want to invite you to go to Moderator, which is one of our centers like that, and using just a laptop, internet, and a projector, and they're able to project the whole content to the classroom. Then we're also looking at this particular program as a very important platform for schools without laboratories. So many of our schools do not have laboratories, and if they're able to log in into the portal, they'll be able to access quality experiments, and this will improve the quality of learning or teaching of science subjects in so many of our schools. I'm also looking at the portal as an environment whereby parents or children can use it for tuition purpose, such that when they are at home on holiday, or they just at home, they have difficulties in a particular subject, they could log into the portal and use it for revision purposes, or even enhancing their learning. Then this enables them again, students to be able to use technology, like what someone was saying, why are children going to sites that are not relevant? Tablet is going for 30,000. A normal desktop is going, I think, for 20,000, the cheapest. There isn't any help in the house. There isn't any hard in the house. There isn't any hardware that you can give to that child in the slums and you can continue learning. This is the biggest challenge. And we have continuously tried to address it with the peers. And every time I'm asking, Tari, do you have anything, any gadget that can be used by the children to learn? And this is the challenge also, I think, to IGF. But we should be looking at the hardware that can be able to facilitate access to internet and promoting access to education through enabling hardware, computers, tablets, and smartphones that are cheap and affordable and usable as well to run to, and solutions that we can be able to use it as at an affordable cost. Then the cost of internet again is another issue. You look at, for example, a house girl who is earning 4,000. You're telling them, get onto the platform, start learning from it. So what's the cheapest cost of internet? Again, too expensive. We need to think of infrastructure that is going to enable access to internet. If it is those children at home, we can have wireless and accessible or cheap and affordable. Maybe one thing I wanted to say that we also need to look at other interrelated bills. For example, right now we are addressing the bill on education. What does it have as far as ICT is concerned? So these bills that they come from, how do we also see to it that we promote the use of ICT? And that will maybe, the Minister of Education could factor some money to enable the use of internet or the use of ICT in education. Thank you so much.
Flow for 6 questions, 3 for e-government and 3 for chat.
Thank you so much. My name is Charles Kulo. I represent the Internet Society. I'm also a civil servant at the Kenya IGF Institute as a webmaster. I would like to thank the presenter for e-government for the work done. And some of us, even in the government, don't know that these things are happening. That's a comment. But my issues are, there are several governmental agencies like parastatals, etc. Out there trying to equip themselves with their own work, computerize independently outside the central government. this was a challenge when it comes to now the data sharing. Could it there be a way that most of these institutions who are actually spending more money trying to buy infrastructure, servers, some are redundant, to implement ICT projects within the institution, whereas the central government has all this infrastructure and software.
Probably off the record. I'm Victor Mariba, I'm a policy analyst within the Internal Security Ministry. I have participated in not less than 6 meetings where we were discussing the freedom of information and data protection bills. And as recently as 2nd March, we actually were discussing the CIC. 4 weeks back, we had a session like this with the ICJ, TI, and what came out, we had 2 case studies, South Africa and India, and I would wish this audience builds upon that the emphasis is on a facilitative mechanism that the public accesses a lot of information from the government and of course private entities. So I wanted to put this comment earlier during the presentations on N-NFEI and data protection, but it's important that this forum also builds up whatever has been put up by the CIC through the 2 bills, so that we emphasize more on service delivery. Then the second issue, which is another comment, is that from the presentation of e-government, I think this is the right body that should move in the direction of consolidating all matters to do with the policy, legislative, even administrative setups to come up with access to information. More especially with the focus that service delivery centers have been taken to the counties. The counties is where the common mwananchi will be interested in knowing where is my CDF money, money for projects, money for roads, all these things. We must be able to synergize government and private sector information pools so that we give quality service to mwananchi. So it's a comment.
Any other question?
About the last mile connectivity using the N-NFEI network. I'm impressed that the government is really using a lot of resources to make sure that connectivity is all over. But I'd ask that as this is being done, what happens to making the market disruptive for the person in the village who is trying to build a hub so that the village can be able to enjoy these services without, I'm sure the N-NFEI network has been there I think for a while, and still we have not seen a lot of use for that. So what is the government doing to encourage people to use this infrastructure that is existing so that it's cheaper?
Any questions? We have enough questions for e-government. Any questions for Jen before we make?
I appreciate Jen for giving us a presentation of the network for Ngima education institution. So this idea is noble. But then my question is, how do you help or facilitate the disabled? Because in every society they are there. a man can speak that.
Anyone else who can address?
Thank you. There was a question during the online discussions on e-government, I'm sorry to take you back there, where somebody was asking about the cost that it takes to access, especially the one you had told us about, the one that you access by SMS. Is this likely to go down because it may be prohibitive to quite a large number in the population?
Else? Okay, that's
okay.
After that, we have one more question to take for Jen, and then we'll do the answers.
Okay, my name is Jacaranda Hotel. I have PC University. I'm just taking a question to network from education. We talked about hardware as a challenge. I'm just wondering, how are you trying to basically bridge the gap between access to computers, because you say that basically you do your training mostly at night, and the slums can't be able to access that kind of hardware. And then again, what about when you have power failure? What happens at night? Because when you conducting the class at night, there is some vulnerability of power going out, or Kenya, sometimes you have blackout. So how do you actually train to manage that?
Okay, so that's it. We will ask Esther first to take questions and make comments, and then
most of them are comments, and I see like they are only two questions. The first comment is that most of the government institutions, some of them don't know that what is going on in e-government. Are you from sorry. Oh, Karakuto. Oh, okay. Yeah, because at least all the government ICT officers are e-government officers. So they know what the e-government directorate is doing, and they are ambassadors and the ministries. So at the moment, e-government is only concentrating on the central government, but what is happening now in performance contract, if you have seen your performance contract, there is the automation bit, and the parastatals and other government institutions should get guidelines from e-government on how to go ahead and do their automation. So maybe that is something that we need. It's something new. It wasn't there, so you can get this from the performance contracting website. The rest are comments. The best formula to make local people know about ICT should be the mandate of e-government. That is a policy that is above me, but e-government, what happens is that it concentrates more on the government ministries. The government ministries infrastructure, government ministries applications, software, but for something, the Ministry of Information deals with the whole of the government, Kenya, whether it's industry or government or private sector. So we can't be able to make policies for everybody. E-government only concentrates on the central government. And the cost of access to the IDRS in normal rates apply to the service providers. So, but then we want to talk with the service, with the providers at least. There's somebody who was asking about toll-free numbers. How come Kenya doesn't have a toll-free number like the US? I don't know who can answer that for me. Maybe that is where the solution can be. Have I left it? Okay, my neighbor, I was telling him to ask me offline. Yeah, about the clicks. What we've done is that we cannot give equipment and software and internet access to anybody. So we have partnered with the Ministry of Youth. They have given us youth groups that are stable and are doing other things like maybe training the fellow youth in the village about AIDS. So we empower them with computers and internet so that those youth and the rest of the community that are coming to get those services and that training can also access government information or even their emails or the internet. They can browse the internet for maybe getting their local, the market rates for their feeds and the rest. So we have partnered with the Ministry of Youth to give us the youth groups that are stable. We don't just give to any group that comes and says we want computers. I don't know about blocking social media. I'm not aware of e-government blocking social media. You are your institution. The government, no, we don't. I've not had. He's a parasito. Yeah. But maybe I might not have answers to all the questions. I think that is all. If I don't know whether I've forgotten
your basis from a corporate basis, so please feel free to talk to her after this. She needs all the support. As we say in Kiswahili, amejitolea kabisa, so we need to also
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, we need your support. This is an initiative that we started at a very low level just to respond to a need, and we worked with students. All our workers are students. We've got teachers who are graduating from the university. They joined us. We joined a team of teachers. We've got developers from Ekatoni University. They are our students. Kabudi is just graduating. He's been volunteering with us and he's one who developed the portal. We've got Jeff. He's still at JQuat University. And we've got a team of about 15 youth who are working in the program, all university students and graduates. And so we need your support to be able to take the process forward. And as the first questions came about the people with special needs, we have a very big passion for people with special needs, because as we speak about, access, we can access for children in difficult circumstances. When you talk of children in the slums and marginalized community, we are also having children who are with disabilities, and we don't need to marginalize them further. So the program also looks into that, and we really partnered with Ngima Primary. We were very, very vocal. Actually, I did a lot of work to make Ngima Primary a boarding school for children with visual issues. And I think from next term, we'll be having 30 children being boarders in that school. And again, our service, the portal, the content, and all that is available for people with special needs. And just like every other, the issue is hardware and infrastructure. How can we be able to enable them to get these facilities for them to access content wherever they are? Then the bridging the gaps, as I told you, we had a lot of challenges with the video conferencing program. And as we go to the portal, the Darasani program, the PS have actually been working very closely and has promised us a TV station that will be transmitting education throughout the day. And we're looking at that as one of the answers that may be able to respond to enabling access. And if we had a program that is transmitting education, we're discussing with somebody from Alliance, we're looking at, can we be able to partner with about 10 schools? And within these 10 schools, if it's Kiswahili time, we go to Alliance. If there's science, we can go to Makini and the like, such like schools. And if you cannot take Alliance, every child to Alliance, can you make Alliance go to the people and enable all Kenyan children to get quality education? And so we are working on that and want to partner with about 10 schools that can be able to help us transmit content or transmit education from those particular schools. As we do that, again, the question of how do the children interact with the teacher, virtual learning comes back. So we need to get at least, they need to do exams, they need to do assignments, they need to do all that. And so they still need the hardware. It still comes back to the same. And they're thinking of a smartphone. Yes, it's cost effective, but how is the feasibility? Can a child or somebody be able to use a smartphone for a whole lesson and be able to get quality education? So those are the issues. Then, as we are trying to enable still access and overcome the barriers of hardware. And what we are doing is that we are trying to encourage people to use the cyber. And the Pasha centers, the community youth centers, UN Habitat has a program in Kibera and the other centers. I know we're working with the UNESCO to see that you could use their centers. Now I hear the government has got centers. These are the facilities you need to enhance to be able to see that people within those communities are using them effectively. And if they were able to be sensitized, that you can access, you can go to the cyber, you can go to the e-learning center and access government information, access education from there, then these centers becomes relevant and they make people within a community be able to use them. We're going to do the launch of our portal, that's Darasani, on August 11th. I want to take this time to invite all of you to participate in it, and also those who can support the day, or those who can help us to facilitate the day. We're inviting you to partner with us on the program and also to partner with us with all the other activities that you're doing. As we go forward, major activities, we are still in content development. We're doing so much on content and to perfect what we have. So far, we have got the content on text, videos and pictures, but we need to put it into voice to enable further access. We are still doing a lot of trainings like the schools that are going to start using our portal. We need to enable these teachers to be ICT literate for them to effectively facilitate the students. There's still a lot of work that we need to do to empower teachers and the students themselves, because a number of them, they don't know how to use the computer, they don't know how to get into discussions and all that. So we still need a lot of empowerment, and most of it, sensitization. We need to sensitize our community that e-learning is as good as going to class if you don't have an alternative. If for sure you can never get a chance to go to class, e-learning is a platform that they can learn on. And I think as we think about policies, we need to have policies that are going to promote use of education, exams through e-learning, and recognition of certificates that have been acquired through e-learning. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know whether I didn't say what you were doing. I missed something, but my question is, as far as Rasani is trying to to provide education to the slums, using this technology. How is this curriculum being a new technology that the people during the slums don't understand, did not know? So I'm seeing it for the first time. Does the curriculum involve learning of ICT first, then we go to the other basic education material?
Being pioneers on e-learning is actually a big challenge. We are trying to address so many issues that we are finding on our way. I think the first time we went to KIE and we told them about the initiative, we went there and did a demonstration. We've also talked a lot to the Ministry of Education on the initiative, and we are looking forward to the ministry adapting it for as a pilot program, so that we're able to learn from this particular program and this initiative on all the issues that are forthcoming, like the basic, a student being, needing to have the basic ICT skills or operational skills. As well, we are not putting it as a major, a must requirement, because what we are doing is that we are also orientating the students. Right, as at registration point, we orientate them on the use of the portal, and we also advise them based on their capacity. Some of these students are working. We have got working youth who are working in industries, we have working youth who are working in slums and the others, and they have some of them may have the capacity even to buy a smartphone or even to buy a small laptop or something of the sort. So we are working towards enabling them and advising them to move a step by step. So we provide them with basic skills to access the portal and to move forward from there. But as they are saying, basic computer skills are important. Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Mr. San. My question goes to Esther. 2009, there was a program run by the ICT board, training the digital village managers. What is in place? Is that the digital village is to be established, or at digital schools? Is there something in place?
Okay, I think Esther will do the last comment and then we'll move to the next.
The Digital Villages or Pasha Centers was an initiative of the ICT board. Ours, for e-government, we call them community learning and information centers. And as I had said, we partnered with the Ministry of Youth. They are the ones who identified for us the youth group that we can use to send or disseminate our information to the local people, but can't answer for ICT board.